excited to welcome Mark Boothe, CMO at Domo, and a marketing leader who's been driving real results at some of the biggest names in tech. Mark's led teams at Adobe, Instructure, and now Domo, where he's all about building programs that turn strategy into action across the entire customer journey. Today, he's here to share how AI, data, and smart marketing are changing the way we work. How are you today, Mark?
I'm doing good. How are you, Michael?
I'm good. Always a pleasure to talk to you, and I'm excited to really dive into to how AI is changing the way that we do marketing.
Totally.
So like I mentioned a second ago, you've led marketing teams at these major companies. How has your go-to-market strategy and marketing strategy changed with the evolution of AI?
Yeah, it's a fun and challenging and kind of scary environment. Marketing has never been like it is today. I got a message from my boss just the other day with a link to an Instagram piece that said, this startup is building world's first AI CMO that can replace entire ad teams. I was like, what are we talking about?
Yeah.
But you know what? I like the fact that we're in a place where things can change so much, and we can really, truly affect change just by putting AI really at the forefront. I think that for so long now, you always have to be concerned and worried and vigilant about, is the AI that you're using safe, secure, governed? You know, how many stories are there of people who have not used safe and secure things and have created some pretty giant messes for their organization? So absolutely, positively, make sure that you are being wise. Make sure that you are being careful. But AI gives you the ability to scale and build in ways that we've never even been able to think of until now. Everything, you start thinking of individual use cases. Think of paid search. Think of content creation. Think of AI generated images and videos and whatnot. There is an ability to move so fast now that we've simply not been able to do in the past. So I am so bullish and so excited and so all in on how do we use AI to be able to multiply the impact that our teams can really have on a daily, weekly, monthly, yearly basis.
Yeah, I mean, how are you sort of empowering your team to use AI on a day-to-day practical basis for these marketing initiatives?
Yeah, so I am a monster fan of fail fast. Don't be afraid to take risks. Now, from an AI perspective, take calculated, careful risks that are not going to get you in trouble from a governance or a safety and security perspective. However, it's not time, in my opinion, to sit back and relax and, be a 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 10th, 20th adopter. Go out and test. We're testing and trying some really cool things right now from an agentic perspective. Domo is an interesting platform because we enable all of our users to prepare data, visualize data, automate data, distribute, build end-to-end data products that can provide solutions across that entire data journey. And so AI has been a really big piece of what we build and what we do. People are building AI and data products right within the Domo platform today. We're working closely with the Signals team to be able to deliver some cool agents that do everything from, whether it's helping provide a chat-like experience on a site that answers any questions about our product or helps invite you to any kind of event, or makes dials and calls from an ADM or SDR perspective to be able to make sure that people know about some big campaign or event or something that's happening over the next little bit. But for me, I think that the foundation has to be make sure you do it safely and securely, and don't be afraid. Once you know that it's safe and secure with the tool or the technology that you're using, go try. Make sure that you enable your teams to be able to fail fast and to try really hard to be able to find solutions that will really, truly drive the bottom line of your business, because there are so many opportunities to be able to really get ahead. And most of the time, people don't jump into it because they're too afraid of, well, what if? Stop with the what ifs.
Yeah. I think it's been a blast working with you and your team on some of those initiatives that you just mentioned, and I think that's a key part of it is try something and then improve upon it. Every time it'll get better. as you've sort of brought that initiative to your team, how have you really been able to I guess create team cohesion behind that idea of fail fast, try hard, be safe, but don't let fear be the I guess break point behind you not trying something.
Yeah. I regularly share with my leadership team a lot of stuff about AI and what's happening in the world. And I think back to that text that I got from my boss just the other day, talking about this startup that's building the world's first AI CMO. It would be easy, and it is easy, for people to think, well, I'm not going to do that because maybe I'll be out of a job if I do it. Stop it.
Yeah.
Like that is a really silly way to go about leveraging or not leveraging AI in your job today. AI is really, really exceptional at good at certain things. And it's better than humans are at certain things. And guess what? Humans are better than AI at certain things. Yeah. And so make sure that you're leveraging the tools in the best ways to make you successful. There is no way, I think of from a competitive analysis perspective, AI has the ability to go and read and digest and understand and remember things that there's no way that my small brain could really do. It's not possible.
Yeah. I think you got a great brain, Mark. But like to build on that, like, so once you find something that is working, like how do you really drive the resources into building that initiative? Like when you see an effective ad campaign or an effective GTM motion, or you find something within your marketing team that clicks, like how do you first evaluate that it's working, and then second, or allocate those resources there?
Yeah. So I'm in an interesting position because I get to run marketing and our ADM org at Domo. And so we are incredibly data driven. It's actually pretty amazing when I look at the resources that I have at my fingertips at any time to understand how are we progressing. The easiest thing for any marketer to do is to say, I brought it in top of funnel sales. Now it's your responsibility. Like you're gonna fail as a marketer if you don't take credit for things further down the actual customer journey. So we are incredibly data driven. We know everything that's happening from a digital perspective. And so it's easy for us to be able to optimize and to, for our team to even put more fuel on that fire. If we see that something is really, really performing, our team could easily look at the data and say, hey, we need to double down on this because we have the data. And that's the key. If you have the data, then you're able to make some really stellar decisions really, really quickly that'll be able to hopefully help your business over the long term.
Yeah. One question I think a lot of people have, especially with some of this, like you said, like they get this fear when using AI and they want to be the second mover, the third mover before they really dive in. Data can sometimes take a while to come in. What are some leading indicators that you found where maybe you haven't seen things come all the way through the funnel, but you're like, oh, this is definitely the right direction. Like what are you looking for there?
Oh, excellent question. So much of what we're doing with AI today is, can you make a process better? Can you make it faster? Can you increase, for example, if it usually takes X number of dials or X number, we usually get a response rate of XYZ. Can AI help you do that faster? Can it help you increase conversion? Conversion matters to us significantly, whether that's just an MQL to SAL conversion, whether it's an MQL to SQO, whether it's S3 to actual wins. Like the data will help you make the very best decisions. And I would look from an AI perspective at what are the little small adjustments that you could make. I had one of my really good friends who regularly said the phrase aggregation of marginal gains. Well, AI is exceptional at helping you make small changes that can affect big things at the end of the day. I mean, you think for some companies, making small changes from MQL to SAL or from S3 to Win could mean massive amounts of money.
Mm-hmm.
You got to be able to shift and change all of those little things. You even think, we're looking right now at, well, how could we make our try-free Domo experience even better? Is there some kind of AI chat-like component in there where we could start saying, hey, do you want to try this? What about that? Where we can really recommend or help them along that value journey so that it's not just, hey, let's throw you in the product and hope you can figure it out.
Yeah.
But AI help you to be more effective at actually using the product. You think in our community, we have a place today where customers can ask any question they need about the product. That's amazing. And we have an absolutely stunning community. Community who has been answering questions for a long time and doing an absolutely incredible job at answering those questions. Well, AI is better at getting all of that information, taking it in from a knowledge base, taking it in from whatever those inputs are, and giving you really, really quick, like within seconds, answers to something that you may have questions about. That was something that we just put in place just recently, and it's going to be intriguing to see what happens over time. I mean, we know that the time to answer will decrease significantly. You've got to train the model and make sure that the model works in the right way, but that's the amazing thing about AI. You teach it and you retrain it as new information comes out, but it doesn't forget.
Yeah. It never gets worse.
Yeah. And so I'm really bullish and excited about what AI can do, both from every layer of your marketing funnel. It ought to be able to make it better and faster and more efficient.
What are some key places of friction within that funnel that you've experienced over your career that you're really excited for AI to be able to, as it's getting better, as it's adapting, as people are building these new tools out? What are some places you're like, this is when someone figures this out, I'm sold. I'm ready to go.
Yeah, there's so many. Performance marketing is a perfect example. We're talking right now about what's an agent that we could build on the Domo platform, for example, that would help us from a paid search perspective. We're bidding on a significant amount of keywords. You make optimizations along that. So, what are the specific paid landing pages that you want them to land on after they've actually searched a certain keyword? What are the micro adjustments at any given time that AI could help you to make? How do you make sure that you're getting the very most, you're paying the least, and you're getting the most value out of it? How do you make sure there aren't new keywords that you ought to be bidding on a regular basis? How do you make sure that you're looking at what your competitors are doing? And how do you create better content? Like the performance marketing place is an angle that I'm super intrigued to see what kind of agents we build that will help us to be more effective. But then you look at other use cases. I talked earlier about the idea of competitive intelligence. Wow. There is no way that a human being can do all of the work that a competitive intelligence AI agent could do on a minute-second basis. Creative. We've already seen all of the examples of what you can do from a creative perspective with AI. Like, don't wait. Don't wait. Jump in now. You're falling behind if you're not already all in.
Yeah, 100% agree. And I think people are just worried about making mistakes, right? People are just worried about making errors and being the one that someone blames. And I think it's just fear, right? I think that's all it really is. When you look out and see other people using AI, other companies, other, I guess, thought leaders in the space, what are some mistakes that you see them making that you would maybe caution others against?
Yeah, there are certain mistakes that you can't make. And so be really careful. Be really careful about where you're sharing things, what data you're putting into whatever LLM you're using. Like there are things, sensitive customer data that's not something you can even consider. Mm-hmm. But what are the things that you could potentially leverage AI to be able to make a real significant impact. That's the key. You're going to make mistakes. Make sure that you don't make mistakes on the stuff that you can't make mistakes on.
Yeah.
You think of from a creative perspective, AI has the ability to pop out ads and images in way faster time than a designer could do. Okay, that's not super scary. Customer data. Yeah, that's something you can't make mistakes on. So make sure that you understand where you can make mistakes and where you can't make mistakes, and then you plan accordingly. But you're going to make mistakes. So just make sure that you're calculated on what mistakes are okay for you to make, and then move fast and move quick and fail fast and move on to the next optimization.
Yeah, I'm curious what you think about like how like public sentiment on AI is, especially around like marketing. I think it was Honda who released a full AI commercial over the holidays, and that got some people really loved it, and it had some backlash. I guess how, as a marketer, how do you navigate sort of that public communication or what your ICP thinks about what you're doing with AI?
Yeah, I think that for us, our customers want to make sure that it is secure. And so, we think of Domo as a place where our customers can build secure and private solutions using AI. That's really, really important to me. We have to make sure that you can be safe and you can be secure and you can build what you need to be successful. From an overall market perspective, for sure, there's still a lot of trepidation. There's a lot of people that are concerned. But to be honest, I think that while doing it safely and securely and in a governed way, we got to get over that. Yeah. I was listening to an interview recently with a billionaire investor that was on, I think, CNBC, and he talks about the fact that these AI models are increasing. I think it was increasing in efficiency anywhere from like 25% to 500% over 3 or 4 quarters. It was something that was like, oh my goodness gracious. This is not a matter of, well, I don't know, we'll see if AI is really going to take off. This is transformational in every single way. And so if you're waiting for it to be perfect, don't wait for perfection. Be safe and governed and jump in and realize where you can take risks and where you can't take risks. And then optimize everything that you can ever think of. But the opportunity is like nothing I have ever seen in my entire career. AI is revolutionizing every single job, and it will continue to. From a marketing perspective, whether you are a designer, a strategist, a creative, a performance marketer, somebody that's running social media, no matter what it is, you're doing SEO, you're building a website. If you are not fully jumping into how can I leverage AI to be able to make myself better as a marketer, you are behind. You're behind. And it's, for me, not a matter of maybe this is too bold. Not a matter of will AI take your job? It's how soon. Now, that doesn't mean the AI is taking everyone's jobs, just in case I have some trolls that are now all over me for saying that. What it means is the people who can learn how to leverage AI in the very best ways will be the ones who win. Yeah. Those who sit on the sidelines and say, I don't know, I'm just going to wait for a little bit longer and see, then in my opinion, you should be concerned about your job. So jump in and don't wait and start getting value today because it's ready.
Yeah, I mean, that makes total sense. I 100% agree. I think the people who wait will be waiting for a long time, and there's no good time to jump in. So why not now? Awesome. Well, thanks so much, Mark, for joining us today. I think you had great insights on what AI is doing now and where AI is going in the future. If somebody wanted to reach out and follow up about what you think about AI and where it is in the marketing space, what's the best way to reach you?
For sure. There's 2 places. Go find me on LinkedIn, just Mark Boothe, MarkBoothe. I tend to post quite a bit there, or feel free to reach out to me at email mark.boothe@domo.com, and I'd love to stay connected.
Awesome. I recommend a Mark Boothe follow or a connection on LinkedIn. He has great content, and looking forward to talking again, Mark. Thanks so much.
Thanks, Michael.